Hey folks, for anyone who has been watching my channel at all over the past year or so, I've been pretty gobsmacked by this little Kawasaki ZX-4RR, and today adding another little piece of bling and functional bling. It's a carbon fiber and aluminum CeraCarbon rear sprocket. These guys make sprockets for the Moto2 teams and some of the MotoGP teams. It's essentially a aluminum and carbon fiber sprocket that is 25% lighter than a comparable aluminum one. So what we're doing today is cleaning up the chain and removing the rear wheel so that we can install not only this sprocket, but also some titanium studs on the wheel, as well as nuts, of course, to go on with it. So we're going to lose a little bit more weight here off of the 4RR, who's already been on a diet since she came off the showroom floor. And well, let's get started. I'll get working on this and take it apart so we can see what the weight difference is going to be. All right, rear wheel is removed. Now let's spin off this rear sprocket and get these rear nuts and studs off the rear wheel. Now we got the sprocket off, we're taking off the studs. And I like to use this little tool which just uses a regular ratchet and allows this little serrated pawl to grab the stud, and the harder you twist it, the more it grips on, and then it just pulls the stud out. So let's do the other 5 and then get ready to put the new ones in. Okay, I forgot how much I hate removing wheel studs by hand, but that job is done. And now we've got the comparison of the stock sprocket with studs and nuts to the CeraCarbon sprocket with titanium studs, titanium nuts. So let's break out the good old scale and see what kind of a savings we're going to get out of this whole swap. All right, let's see what the stock stuff is coming in. We got the steel sprocket, studs, and nuts. They're coming in at 2 pounds, 13 ounces, or 1,275 grams. All right, let's try the CeraCarbon stuff. The CeraCarbon sprocket with all the gear comes out to 1 pound, 0.7 of an ounce. So wow, 1 pound, 12 and something ounce savings. So 1275 grams. This one is 473. Pretty cool. Okay, back to the wheel. We've got the titanium studs just threaded in hand tight. It's really nice. They have, you know, Allen heads machined into the end, so it makes it super easy. I also want to take a second to note that when you're putting titanium fasteners into any aluminum or steel, you want to use some anti-seize. If there's no Loctite, then you use anti-seize. But if there's Loctite, of course I don't use this, but this stuff is fantastic. It's metal free, it wipes off really easy. It's good to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so exhaust stuff, even better. And when you look at the texture of it, it's just this nice creamy seize that is easy to clean. If you've ever cleaned regular anti-seize off bolts, you know how much of a pain it is to get out of each and every thread. But anyway, I'm gonna go grab the book and figure out what to torque these to, and then we'll get ready to put the sprocket on and put everything back together. Look, for the ZX4, there is no torque figure for the studs to the wheel carrier. The nuts go on at 44 foot-pounds on the sprocket to the studs, but nothing listed for the stud to sprocket carrier. So 44 foot-pounds is what the sprocket nuts will be at. Now the studs are secured by tiny little 4mm Allen in the tops of their heads. So, you know, I'm just gonna try and jam them into the wheel carrier and make sure they don't come out. And, you know, that'll be good enough. I don't wanna snap the Allen inside the head of these things because that's a pretty small little Allen, and it's not going to take a ton of torque. But as long as these are jammed into the wheel carrier well, they don't back out, that'll be fine. So give me a minute and I'll get these things torqued up, and then we'll come on back and start putting the sprocket on. Well, isn't that a pretty sight? Look at that. Pretty trick looking with the titanium studs, with the Allen heads into the ends and the titanium nuts. All right, let's get this wheel back on the bike and get the show on the road. Wheel is back on and it looks pretty trick. I mean, I've had a carbon thing going on this bike since the beginning. And, you know, the sprocket is probably the coolest part on the whole bike. You got the carbon belly pan, you got the carbon side scoops, you got carbon Graves rear set guards, you got carbon rear fender, carbon tail trim, and now we have a carbon rear sprocket. So that's about it. I'm missing the carbon front sprocket cover. I still got to put that on, but I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the chain, clean things up a little bit. And yeah, overall, I think this CeraCarbon sprocket is a nice little touch. Is it cheap? No. Is it worth it? I don't know, but makes me happy and looks pretty cool on the bike, and that's pretty much what counts. So thanks everyone for following along, and if you liked the video, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up and a like, and come back for more ZX-4RR stuff. We have some interesting upgrades planned for this thing to lose even more weight. I think the net weight lost on this one was almost 2 pounds for just this sprocket and the hardware. So little by little, we're gonna nickel and dime our way down to a much better weight than what Kawasaki gave us off the showroom floor. Thanks everyone.